Hey everybody, this is Clint Arthur, and it's time for another entrepreneurial adventure. This one we'll do it in reverse. Oh wow, hello. The past couple of adventures have been going home. This one we're going out from home. And this is a very important entrepreneurial adventure. This one is about getting the money. Getting the money, getting the money, getting the money. This is rule number one, what they teach you at the Wharton Business School. Okay? Get the money. Now, when they teach it to you at Wharton, they say the first thing they teach you is what they call the net present value theory of money. And that is $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. That's what they mean by the net present value theory of money. $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Why is that? Well, if I have the dollar today, I can use it right now. If I'm promised $1 tomorrow, will I get the dollar? Have you ever been promised $1 or $100 or $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or $1 million by somebody? They said it's gonna be there tomorrow and it wasn't there? Has that ever happened to you? Oh my goodness, how could that ever happen? Well, that's risk. That is risk, my friends. That is risk. And that's why $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow. Because if you have the dollar today, there's no risk. That's where I grew up. Wow, look at that bus. Look at that bus. It's a New York bus. Wow. It's a nice bus. So, in my book, what they teach you at the Wharton Business School, I have a whole chapter on get the money. Because that's really what they're teaching you at the Wharton Business School on day one. They're telling you, hey, the sooner you have the money, the more valuable that money is. So get the money. That's what they're telling you. They're telling you, get the money. If you have the money, then you've eliminated a certain element of risk. Not all, but a certain element of the risk has been eliminated. Here it is, July 3rd. Working, people working. This ain't no holiday. I'll tell you what, it's funny, like so many places, everybody's off today. Garbage men ain't off. Construction workers aren't off. A lot of places are off. Not all the places. All right, we're gonna head down 3rd Avenue. And I'm gonna show you the Sliver building that's been captivating my imagination. And I had a very interesting conversation with my construction manager who's building my dream home in Los Angeles. My dream home in Los Angeles. I said, have you ever built a high rise? He goes, no more than 14 stories. I said, okay. I didn't know he had built a 14-story building. Wow, these New York buses are everywhere. There's one there. There's one there. One just went up the street the other way. And I'm gonna do some New York City street crossing here. one of those New York buses behind me. Yeah, this is going to be a nice walk. Maybe we'll even get to see the Ruggles. I'm going to try to find that Ruggles plaque, although I'm kind of pressed for time. I got to get to the bank by 7 p.m. So, what's it all about? Well, we're getting there. So, in my pocket is a check. Somebody sent me a check. You don't get a lot of checks these days, but sometimes you get a check. So what do I do with a check? Well, obviously I'm gonna go cash it, right? What else would you do with a check? Funny, somebody sent me a check the other day. I mean, it's crazy. All of a sudden, I got checks coming at me. Somebody sent me a check the other day, denominated in euros, off a bank in Madrid, Spain. They sent me a check. Jesus. What the hell am I gonna do with that? Did you know you can't cash that kind of check? You can't cash a check denominated in euros in the United States. There they go. There's a building under construction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Exactly 14 stories tall, that building. So, my construction manager has built a building that tall. I don't know if it's that big or not. He didn't say. I said, have you ever built a high rise? He goes, no more than 14 stories tall. Oh, I love that guy. I said, he goes, those buildings are easier to build because those are all the same thing over and over and over. There's nothing different from floor to floor. It's all the same. He goes, they're easier than what we're building right now. He's building my dream house. It's a 3-story building above the garage level, so it's 4 stories. 10 stories shorter than that one. But it was all kinds of excavation, shoring, building all kinds of steel and concrete tubes into the hill, stabilize the hillside, etc., etc., etc. He said, what we're doing now is harder than building a high-rise building. Interesting. But high-rise buildings are more expensive. I said, why is that? He goes, well, anytime you're using lots of steel, it's going to be more expensive. Okay? It's the steel. That's why buildings are built out of wood. Houses are built out of wood because it's less. Now we're on the other side of that park I was showing you yesterday. This is Gramercy Park, the park I've never been in. This park was designed by an architect by the name of Ruggles, who was the grandfather of one of my fraternity brothers, Jason Ruggles Bernhardt, and upon further reflection, I realized that Jason Ruggles Bernhardt was from Amberley Village, Ohio, which is outside of Cincinnati, because my girlfriend, Linnell, in college, she was from Amberley Village, and he was from the same place. So it's curious that his grandfather designed a park in New York City when he was from Amberley Village. And here we are. Let's see. Nope. No Ruggles. This is the same plaque that's on the other side. Let's see if Ruggles is over here. Wow, this is fascinating. I'm telling you, there used to be a plaque on one of these fences that talked about Ruggles. And there's a statue in there. Can you see the statue? It says Edwin Booth, 1833 to 1893. 60 years old. All right. So now we're heading down to go to this bank. Going to get the money. So when I get a check, I take it in and I cash it and I get the money. The other night I was on a phone call with someone who has already graduated from Celebrity Launchpad. He's a dentist. He did rather well at Celebrity Launchpad the first time. He wants to come back again. So listen to this. I mean, people can be so slippery. They want to be slippery, even despite their own best intentions. They can't help being slippery. They don't want to part with their own ducats, right? They don't want to part with the ducats. So I'm on the phone with this dentist and I say, hey, even though Celebrity Launchpad is now $10,000 as an investment, we're gonna let you come back at the same price that you came in the first time. That's kind of an unofficial policy that we have. The investment to come to Celebrity Launchpad keeps going up naturally. However, an unofficial policy that we have is that if you come through and you want to come back again, we'll let you back in at whatever you paid the first time. Almost a bike accident right there. Should have showed it to you. Sorry. So how come it keeps getting more expensive? Well, I remember when I first heard about Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny. Remember? Did you ever go to Date with Destiny? Okay, so Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny. Yeah. When I first found out about it, first time I went to any Tony Robbins event was March 2001. March 2001. Think about the world then, how different it was. What a much more innocent time it was, huh? So innocent. March 2001. And my brother, I had been listening, you guys. I had been listening to Tony Robbins' Personal Power 2 tape set. I couldn't afford the CDs. I was still a taxi driver. I put the tapes on my last credit card with any available balance, and I bought the tapes. And I listened to that whole series twice, and it worked great. I mean, look, if you do personal growth and self-help and personal development work, it works. I listened to those tapes 2 times and really did it. You know, I didn't just kind of do it. I really poured myself into the whole thing. And it worked. By the time March 2001 came around, I could afford to go to a Tony Robbins live event called Unleash the Power Within. That was $600 to go to that event. And after that, that's where you walk on fire, right? And after that event, I came back totally charged up, and within 3-4 months, my income was through the stratosphere. I'm not attributing it entirely to Unleash the Power Within although it was a powerful thing. At that point in my life, Unleash the Powerful Thing was the third major transformation event that I went to. The first one that I went to, I had been taking a bunch of little tiny, 2-3 hour courses at the Learning Annex. And the first part of my transformation that I took was a 6-month program with this coach in Westwood, California, named Paul Roth. And his little program for us was called Life Transformation. And it was 6 months, $400 a month. I was a taxi driver. 6 months, $400 a month. In December, that was like the second half of 2000. December 2000, I took the Sterling Men's Weekend. Man, I got a lot of power out of that. Man, I'll say it again in case you didn't hear me. I got a lot of power from the Sterling Men's Weekend. A lot of power. And then the third piece of that transformational period of my life was Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within. And I came back from that supercharged. And a couple months later, I remember it very clearly, I was laying in my bunk on my boat. See that guy right behind me with the bag? His girlfriend just picked up a cigarette butt out of a crack in the sidewalk and gave it to him. He carefully looked at it, inspected it, then put it in his mouth. He's gonna smoke it. So anyway, by the summer of 2001, I'm laying in my bunk on the boat. I had just come from my P.O. box, and I'm talking to my friend on the phone. And I said, Charles, I can't even believe it, man. I went to my P.O. box today, and there was like $9,000 in checks. I'm getting all this money from checks in the mail, selling butter and cream to the raw community in Los Angeles. I hadn't yet started having 5-star butter company clients. I was just selling raw milk and raw butter and raw cream to the raw primal diet community in Los Angeles. The raw primal diet community. And the interesting part is, the last seminar I took at the Learning Annex was The Game. Robert Kiyosaki's The Game. Oh, I gotta cut over one more block. What was Robert Kiyosaki's The Game? Robert Kiyosaki's The Game seminar is 40, 50 people convene in a hotel seminar suite, where you go to. It's probably at the Holiday Inn. And everybody's playing the game. Robert Kiyosaki's The Game. It's a board game. And originally he wrote the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, to promote the game. The game is the cash flow game. So the game is who can get out of the rat race first. And the person who gets out of the rat race first is the winner. At this point, I had just stopped being a taxi driver a few months earlier. I was driving a cab all the way into 2001. I think I stopped I think I might have stopped in December of 2000. No, I didn't stop in December of 2000. I was still driving a taxi in December 2000. I stopped early in 2001. Yeah, I know exactly what happened. One of my butter producers, manufacturers, this small farm. I was just talking about him earlier today. This small farm. After I had sent them envelope after envelope after envelope, guess this, you're not going to believe this. Envelope after envelope after envelope, FedEx packages every 2 weeks, stuffed with cash. After sending them FedEx packages every 2 weeks, stuffed with cash, for almost a year, they paid off their farm and fired me as a client and started selling directly to my customers. Yep. And when I called those people, they said to me, "Oh my God, Clint, you're like heaven sent. We were praying this morning. How are we going to make the mortgage payment? We were praying of how it was going to happen. We didn't know. And now here you are." And I took all the butter they could send me week after week after week. I paid them more than they were getting. And once they paid off their farm, then they said, "Oh, we're not going to sell to you anymore. We're just going to sell directly to your customers." Seriously, that's what happened. Here we are at the bank. Did I make it? Yes. All right. Hey, just want to cash a check. All right, I'm going to cash this check. Hello. I am. There's my driver's license. Here is my debit card. Inserting with chip. Signing the check. I'm not FaceTiming, I'm just making a video.
Day in the life of me?
Day in the life of an entrepreneur.
I see.
You see. My PIN is validated. And it is good. Very nice. Imagine that. Putting my card in my phone wallet. Do you have a phone wallet for your phone?
I used to. Then I broke it because I kept opening and closing it so often. Because I get like bored that that person is like waiting for like someone to put back on to close it so I can look at it and it makes my sense later. So it broke. Moral of that story. And then the phone broke. So I got the phone and gave me more.
You're very lovely. Would you mind being in the video for just a moment? There she is. See? Yay! Wells Fargo Bank. Love it. I've been Wells Fargo Bank customer for a long time.
Yeah?
And I'm a good customer, as you see.
Truly?
Yes.
If you were to say exactly how long would you know? I do. It's on my screen.
2004?
2005.
2005,
Close,
yeah.
though.
I thought so.
Good guess.
Yep. Yep, we consolidated everything.
Think it's easier that way?
Yeah. And I'll take large on that. So where was I? Oh yes, why do things get more expensive? So now my seminars are 10,000 and they started out and they were 5,000. Now, back in the early days when I first found out about Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, and Date with Destiny, have you heard of Date with Destiny? Okay, so when I first heard, you know who Tony Robbins is though, right? Okay, just heard of him. Interesting. So really, because in my community, he's like a superstar. But out in the real world, people have kind of heard about him. Interesting. He's not a true celebrity, but he's pretty good. So anyway, Date with Destiny. In 2001, Date with Destiny was Tony Robbins and 200 people, and it was $5,000 per person. Date with Destiny, 200 times 5,000. Today, Date with Destiny is 2,500 people, each paying $5,000.
That's insane.
Yeah, and it's supposedly the gold standard of going to a seminar. Like, it's the best seminar anybody ever goes to, supposedly. Now, that's not comparing it to my seminar, Celebrity Launchpad, which many people say is the best seminar of all time. Many people say that. But I don't get 5,000 people or 2,500 people paying all that money. I just get 15 people paying 10,000.
Still.
Even still.
Yeah,
And as we go forward, there will be more people, and it will still be 10,000.
Smart.
Right. That's how it works. That's why I told you the story about in 2001,
Right.
there was 200 people paying 5,000. Now there's 2,500. So that's the way things go.
Just like your receipt preference for the on the screen there.
I will say print receipt. You put the tape in there, in the envelope. Tape from the machine.
Oh, we don't have one that prints it out. I can run it. Well, I can count it in front of you though. I can count it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Perfect. Thank you. Very much appreciate everything about you and your service today.
Fantastic. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Delightful to be here. I'm really glad I selected this branch, and I hope you have a wonderful 4th of July.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye. That was nice. Good night. So, the only thing I don't like about Wells Fargo Bank, and I've told them this, I don't like how when you go to Wells Fargo Bank, they have dumb candies, because I feel like they're saying that their customers are dumb. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But I do like that church. See it? Go a different way now. Going home. So that's what this was about, my friends. This was about one thing: getting the money. You saw I got the money. And so I would say that this entrepreneurial mission has been accomplished. Now, if you enjoyed this video, I truly suggest that you subscribe, that you like the video, and subscribe. And then you'll be sure to get alerted about more videos that I'll be producing for you. Entrepreneurial adventures in New York City and elsewhere. I travel frequently, and I will try to make entrepreneurial adventures videos wherever I go, sharing my knowledge from the Wharton Business School and from the experts industry and the seminar industry and the butter business, etc., etc., etc. If you are interested in becoming a celebrity and going on TV, then please go to clintarthur.tv. That's Clint like Clint Eastwood, Arthur like the king.tv, because I am looking forward to seeing you on television.